The Owl's Feast, Hunting Strategies and Prey Selection. In the summer of 2019, 8-month-old Ellie Hassler slept soundly in her bedroom. Her parents, Jessica and Caleb, peacefully slept in the room next door. Their new home in Thompson Station, Tennessee, was perfectly silent except for the steady breathing of their infant child. Life had been hectic since Ellie was born, but now that she was older and on a sleep schedule, things were finally calming down for the young family. Their days were filled with playing with their daughter, and their nights were filled with peaceful rest. One evening, though, everything changed. The peaceful quiet of their neighborhood was shattered by booming fireworks as people celebrated the upcoming 4th of July holiday. Jessica put Ellie down for an early bedtime and closed the blinds over her crib window to dampen the noise. Then she placed her daughter down, turned off the lights, and left the room. Jessica returned to the living room to watch TV, but soon realized that she couldn't focus. Ellie was usually a perfect angel at bedtime, but tonight she was screaming at the top of her lungs. Jessica sighed, realizing that she should probably check on her daughter. She could hear Caleb snoring softly from his spot on the couch, and decided that he should get some more rest. As she climbed the stairs to Ellie's room, she walked past the open door to her office. Suddenly, Jessica gasped. A plume of thick, black smoke billowed out of the room and spread through the stairwell. Panic shot through her. What had caused the smoke? Was Ellie okay? Rushing forward, she burst through the door and stared in disbelief at the sight before her. The entire room was engulfed in flames, and the smoke was getting thicker by the second. But even in that moment, Jessica's mind raced. Where was Caleb? She had to find him. Yelling for her husband, she rushed back to the hallway and sprinted toward the front door. She could hear Caleb stirring from his slumber and hoped that she could get him outside before the house went up in flames. As Jessica fumbled with the doorknob, she heard the sound of footsteps on the stairs. Relief washed over her. Finally, but then her blood ran cold as she realized that the footsteps were coming up the stairs. Then she saw his horrified face illuminated by the orange glow of the fire behind him. Caleb stood frozen in the doorway, eyes wide with terror, as he took in the sight of his burning house and his wife frantically trying to escape. It was as if time itself had stopped, leaving them trapped in a horrifying tableau of smoke and flames. In that desperate moment, Jessica screamed at Caleb, urging him to move. She had to get out of the house with Ellie. Grasping his arm, she pulled him toward the stairs. But as they raced toward the exit, another terrifying sound split the air. The flames suddenly roared louder, licking hungrily at the ceiling above them. Trapped by the inferno, they knew they had to act fast. Reaching the front door, Jessica flung it open and stumbled outside. Coughing violently, she looked back to help Caleb reach the safety of the outdoors, only to be met with a sight that made her scream in horror. Flames engulfed the stairway and the upper floor, blocking their only escape. With nowhere left to run, their fate seemed sealed inside that burning house. Jessica and Caleb found themselves trapped in a desperate struggle for survival. And just when all hope seemed lost, an unexpected hero emerged, a brave canine who risked its own life to save theirs. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever owned a dog that seemed to have a sixth sense when it came to danger? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We're eager to hear your experiences. Also, please give the video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You know how much we appreciate it when you do. Meanwhile, trapped inside their burning home, Jessica and Caleb knew they had to act fast. With the fire rapidly spreading, they turned back to search for another way out. But as they raced upstairs, the room started collapsing around them. Furniture toppled, walls crumbled, and the stairs behind them gave way. They found themselves trapped in a labyrinth of smoke and falling debris. Suddenly, they remembered the nursery. It was on the opposite side of the house, and hopefully the fire hadn't reached it yet. Racing to the nursery, they desperately tried to wake their sleeping baby. But Ellie was in a deep slumber and wouldn't wake up. Knowing they couldn't wait any longer, Caleb smashed the nursery window and held out his arms. Jessica lowered Ellie into his waiting arms. Thankfully, she was still fast asleep and none the worse for wear. Then they noticed the dog. A large black dog stood protectively in front of Ellie, barking furiously at the encroaching flames. Without hesitation, Jessica handed her daughter to the dog and jumped out of the window herself. Landing on the soft grass, she scrambled to her feet and watched in awe as the dog trotted away with Ellie in its mouth. Turning back to the burning house, she saw Caleb jump from the window and land safely on the ground. He was coughing and covered in soot, but he was alive. As the first responders arrived at the scene, they found the family safe and sound on the front lawn. They were shocked to learn that everyone had escaped unharmed, thanks to the quick reactions of the heroic dog. But there was still one big mystery. Whose dog was it? No one in the neighborhood could claim ownership, and no one had seen a dog anywhere. In fact, the only evidence of the dog's existence was the faint outline of its paws imprinted in the soft dirt of the yard. It was almost as if the dog had come out of thin air to save the family and then vanished just as quickly. As the investigation continued, the fire chief discovered that the fire had originated in the electrical panel of Jessica's office. He also found a disturbing clue. The fire alarm system had been installed, but for some reason, it wasn't connected. This meant that the family had no way of knowing that their house was on fire. They could have easily perished in their sleep, if not for the timely intervention of the mysterious dog. The family and the community were left pondering the same question. Where did the dog come from? Did it come back from somewhere beyond our perception to deliver its message? Did it vanish just as mysteriously as it appeared, leaving behind nothing but paw prints in the dirt and memories in our hearts? So here's what I want you to do. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on this case. Do you think a dog saved this family, or was there something more mysterious at play? Maybe a ghost dog? And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. Jessica and Caleb couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Strange shadows seemed to flicker at the edge of their vision. They could have sworn they heard distant barking, yet no dog was in sight. Nightmares plagued their sleep, whispering tales of flickering flames and choking smoke. The comfortable home they once cherished now loomed over them like a haunted specter. Determined to uncover the truth, they scoured online records, hoping to find some trace of a dog that matched the description of the one that saved them. But their search turned up nothing. It was as if the dog had materialized out of thin air to perform its heroic feat and then vanished without a trace. The lack of answers left them with more questions than solace. Who was the dog? Why did it choose to appear only in their darkest hour of need? And why did it disappear before they could thank it properly? Yet amidst the shadows and uncertainty, there was a glimmer of hope. Jessica discovered a small black and white photograph tucked away in the attic. It was an old picture of the previous owner of their house, a woman named Martha, standing beside a handsome black Labrador. Could this be the dog that had returned to protect the family that now resided in the house? Had it sensed their peril and come back to ensure their safety, just as it had done for Martha all those years ago? The possibility sent chills down Jessica's spine. If it was the same dog, then it meant that it had carried on its protective instincts across time, defying the boundaries of life and death. But who was Martha, and why had she held such a deep connection with the dog? To find the answers, Jessica delved into the town's archives, piecing together the fragmented history of the house and its former occupants. What she uncovered was a tale of deep love, loss, and unwavering loyalty. Martha had lived in the house with her husband and their beloved black lab, Charlie. The three had formed an unbreakable bond, finding solace and joy in each other's company. But tragedy struck when Martha's husband passed away unexpectedly, leaving her alone in the house with only Charlie by her side. As the years went by, Martha's health began to fail and she knew it was time to move into a care home. But she couldn't bear the thought of leaving Charlie behind, so she made an agonizing decision. Before entering the care home, she asked a neighbor to take care of Charlie, promising that he would look after the dog until the very end. But the neighbor had a change of heart. When Martha passed away, he abandoned Charlie, leaving him to roam the streets and fend for himself. Heartbroken and lost, Charlie refused to enter anyone else's home. Instead, he stayed by Martha's grave, guarding it day and night. It was here that he remained until his own body gave out, his spirit tethered to the graveyard. But Charlie's story didn't end there. His spirit, imbued with eternal loyalty, continued to watch over the house he once called home. And when Jessica and Caleb moved in, Charlie recognized them as the new caretakers of his beloved Martha's house. Feeling compelled to fulfill his unfinished duty, he manifested himself to them, guiding them to safety and protecting them from harm. Over time, the ghostly presence of Charlie became a comforting constant in their lives. They could feel his loving gaze upon them, offering solace and strength in their moments of need. Jessica and Caleb realized that they were not merely living in a house with a haunting past. They were sharing their lives with the spirit of an extraordinary dog whose loyalty knew no bounds. With the mystery solved, Jessica and Caleb felt a sense of peace wash over them. They understood now that the dog that had saved them was not just a stray, but a loyal guardian bound to the house by an invisible thread of love and duty. As the sun set over the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, they knew that they were not alone. Charlie, the ghostly black lab, was by their side. His presence, a reminder of the enduring power of loyalty, love, and sacrifice. Alright folks, it's time to leave the stage. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because the next video is guaranteed to keep you up at night. See you later.